Good morning. Welcome on in on this Thursday. Thanks for joining us. February 5th, DJ and PK. I'm PK, and we're going to get right to hockey. A lot to talk about this morning. The Utah Mammoth, they did it. They beat the Detroit Red Wings 4-1 last night at the Delta Center. You had Schmaltz continued his hot play, and Clayton Keller, the captain, who's now off to the Olympics. Each of them had a goal and an assist, and then you had Jersey and Dylan Guenther also had goals. And, wow, the Mammoth, 8-1 in their home ice since the start of January. That's pretty good. Yeah, really good when you think about it now. They're off for another 3 weeks as everybody goes to the Olympics, or at least pays attention to the Olympics. Obviously, you'll have Karel Nevelka go. He stopped 29 of 30 chances. And Clayton Keller will be going. J.J. Peterka will be going. It's good stuff. The Olympics will coming up. The next time the Mammoth take the ice will be on February 25th. So that's a 3-week break, but we've got Olympic hockey, which will take center stage for sure as we turn our attention to the international game. Well, what we're going to do now is get you the post-game with Adrian Denny, get you his thoughts and the interviews, so we'll do that right now.
DJ and PK, the Utah Mammoth head into the Olympic break after a 4-1 win over the Detroit Red Wings, a contest they led for the final 59 minutes and 3 seconds after Sean Dursey got the Mammoth on the board 57 seconds into the contest.
Puck rolls around the boards in the Detroit zone. Alex DeBrincat turned it over towards the net. They score! And it's Dursey sneaking one in to make it 1-0, not even a minute in.
Utah would quickly make it 2-0, and that power play is back and rolling. Nick Schmaltz on the 5-on-3 with his 23rd of the year, and it was 2-0 Utah just over 8 minutes into the game.
Mammoth 2 for 4 on the 5-on-3 this year. In front, they score, and it's Nick Schmaltz once again. He had the hat trick 2 nights ago. He's got another goal tonight.
So Schmaltz is now tied a career high with 23 goals. The Mammoth, coming out of the Olympic break, have 25 games still left to go. Speaking of career highs, Dylan Guenther would make it 3-0 late in the second, but not before the Mammoth would kill 3 penalties, get some big saves from Karel Vejmelka, and they'd keep it 2-0 going to the second intermission.
Along the goal line, this is Kane looking over his options. One-timer, Sider, rebound loose. Great save by Veggie. Oh, what a stop. Eat your vegetables.
And then Dylan Guenther would strike with his 25th. Last year, his first full season in the NHL, he had 27. With 25 games left, he's at 25.
Guenther re-enters. Guenther speeding in on the backhand, shoots and scores! Dylan Guenther extends Utah's lead, and it's 3-0.
Guenther now on pace for 36 here in his second full NHL season and year 1 of his 8-year contract. So 3-0 in favor of Utah. Detroit would get a power play goal 6-on-4 late, but Clayton Keller would seal the deal with an empty netter.
Takes Larkin up against the glass, and it's Schmaltz and Keller. Schmaltz, Keller, Keller at the empty net. Bullseye!
1 goal and 1 assist for the Utah captain as he records his team leading 18th multiple point game. Schmaltz an assist there as well. His 13th multiple point game. Schmaltz goes into the break with 6 points in his last 2 after the hat trick on Monday. So Utah outscoring Vancouver and Detroit by a combined 10-3 score in their final 2 games as they're now off for 3 weeks. The Colorado Avalanche will come to town coming up on February 25th. Utah 30-23-4, and they will hold that first wildcard spot in the Western Conference going into the break. Let's hear from some of the guys after this one. We'll start with Dylan Guenther after he picked up that 25th goal to make it 3-0.
You guys deserve this one. What were the details that you liked about your guys' play?
We played well from the start. I mean, PK really good, Veg obviously really good, but just a team effort. Talked about our start, and it was really good, so happy with that.
When you guys are able to defeat the Red Wings, a top 10 team, not just at home but also on the road, what does that say about confidence and all the things you guys are trying to stack up on each other?
It's great. I think heading into the break to get a couple wins is makes you feel good. It lets you relax a little bit. It's not in the back of your head, so I'm just happy we got 2 wins, and it's nice to take the time.
When it comes to just riding the momentum waves and the pushes by Detroit, especially in the second and third periods, what do you like about your team's effort there?
I think just all the right intentions. I mean, even if we've made mistakes, I feel like guys were trying to do the right thing. And I mean, they're going to push one of the best teams in the league, but I thought we handled it well.
How do you think you've increased in versatility this year?
I think it's important. I mean, you can't just try to score. I think just trying to be reliable. And, I mean, playing with different guys, too. I feel like I played with a lot of guys on this team this year, with some of the injuries that we've had. So, I think trying to manage the puck and then score in different ways, too.
Is tonight's win a statement victory about your intentions as a team to make the postseason?
Yeah, I think it's big. I mean, everybody knows it. It's really tight, and LA made a big trade, and we've got one of the best players in the league. So it's going to be close, and every point matters.
To have gotten to where you are right now, shorthanded at times, there's always up and downs on a club. Why do you like your guys' chances when you guys get back and you got 25 games left to go?
Yeah, I think because we battled through with injuries. I mean, we haven't played a full game with our full roster. I think a lot of teams will probably be back healthy, but I mean, Coles is a huge part of our team. So, that's a big player loss, and I thought that collectively we've stepped up and stayed in the race, and now just can't get complacent when he's back. I think just keep pushing.
2 straight wins for you guys. I know it's a couple weeks before you guys play another game. How do you keep this winning momentum going when you guys return?
I think just go have a good break. I mean, stay in shape, and I think you can take advantage of this time. We played well coming back last year, but not good enough. St. Louis was hot, and I think a lot of teams are going to come out flying. So just make sure that we're ready to go in the first game.
How did Vejmelka give a little bit extra tonight to make sure you guys got the win?
He played unreal, like huge saves on the PK, especially. It's hard for us to win without how he played. So looking forward to watching him hopefully do that for Team Czech.
When the shutout is on the line late in the game there, how important is it for everybody else to kind of help him out a little bit?
I don't know. I'm not really thinking about Veggie shutout, to be honest. But no, I think we want to have individuals have success, and when the team has success, so do the players. And he's been a rock for us. I think he leads the team in wins, and just how he's able to go and perform every night because he plays a lot of games. So I think he just takes care of himself really well. And I don't think we're in the hunt without him. So
thanks, Dylan.
Karel Vejmelka will go into the Olympic break no worse than tied for first in the NHL in wins. He picked up his 27th on Wednesday night. He stopped 29 of 30. He's now 27, 14, and 2. And for Vejmelka, he turned in his best work of the contest in the final 2 periods. After Detroit got just 6 shots in the first, he turned aside 23 of 24 in periods 2 and 3 as Utah had that lead and nursed it.
I'm so sorry to hear the passing of your uncle. Do you want to share what he meant to you and what impact he had on your career at all?
Yeah, he was a big sportman. He played tennis very well for a long time. So he taught me a lot. He was a great human being. So I'm gonna miss him, and I play obviously for him tonight. So this one is for him.
In terms of the game itself, obviously special teams have been a big topic of conversation. What do you think of your team's ability to whip the penalty kill tonight?
Yeah, I think we did a great job. Obviously, we took a couple of penalty kills, but we did a great job. And it was a big challenge for us, obviously, and it's a big win for us.
Going into the break to have a big win like this, a dominant win, what does that say about this group and the progress you guys have made?
I think it's just saying we are on the right way. We're hitting right way, and we need to keep that same mindset for the rest of the season, and just use the break for kind of reset, our mind, but have that same mindset when we get back here.
How did the extra motivation, help you be really at the top of your game today?
Obviously, just get 2 points, and had a great feeling during the whole break to stay positive and just enjoy the break on the winning mindset.
The next time you'll be out on the ice, you'll be wearing Czechia colors. What does it do to kind of have a big win like this right before the Olympics? Is that a good confidence booster?
For sure, it's a big confidence. I wanted to get a win tonight because it's a huge moment for everybody, for the whole room here, and I think we play real well. We deserve to win.
Do you have to switch mindsets kind of going from this game into an Olympic game?
I would say I should try to keep the same mindset, kind of. Obviously, the ring would be the same size, maybe a little smaller. So, I don't think it's going to be like big difference.
So Utah goes 12-5-1 from Christmas into this Olympic break. And at the Delta Center, 8-1-1 in 2026. Let's hear what head coach Andre Turney said after the game.
Hi, everyone. Solid game by our special team. Our goalie was rock solid. It was a huge win for us. Hell yeah. What else?
What stands out about seeing so many different guys contribute on the score sheet every single night and just the balanced scoring your group has?
Yeah, we do have that. You talk about the scoring, no doubt, but as well, I think everybody contributed. I think our fourth line was key tonight in the third period, especially. Big fight by Turbo, but in the third period, every time they were on the ice, they got on the forecheck, they got the puck deep, and they spent some time. I think they gave us some energy, so that was really good. And same thing on the back end. I think we have that's one of our strengths. We have that.
How big is it when the goalie can put up a performance like that?
Help you to win games, no doubt about it. I think that's. I think he's been on a good stretch. Played a lot of hockey. He's going at the Olympics. Happy for him. Happy for you never know how those guys who's going in the Olympics after will be able to stay in the present. And I will say the three who played, they were rock solid today. JJ was really good. Kels was really good. And Veg was really good. So I'm proud of them. And our team needed it. We all know the standing, but more important, we challenge ourselves to say, hey, you win that game, you finish before the break in the playoff spot. You lose, you may not. So that was an important one for us.
And you mentioned finishing in a playoff spot by the Olympic break. How big is that for your team to be in a playoff spot at this point?
Well, we fixed a few objectives during the season. Thanksgiving, Christmas, Olympic break, and we hit our objective so far. So the next one will be the finish line. That's the one we want to win. We want to achieve the most, but I think it's a process. We keep focusing on our game and improving our game, and I think tonight at 5-on-5 we were really solid. We didn't give much. We'll need to clean up our penalties. I don't like the numbers we take, but 5-on-5, really good game.
12 wins in 2026 against a lot of really good teams without guys like Cooley and Kerfoot. How has this team grown to that accomplishment?
I think it's a good question and deserve a good long answer maybe, but the big thing is we have that, but we have guys who are really good in their own ways. If you look at example, Jack McBain, he's a really good player in his own style. If you look across the league to get a guy who play with that kind of a pace, that kind of a drive, who can play with the puck, who win big draws, who play in a special team and stuff like that, that's an example. It's the same thing for Baratitan, or if we go with Yami, who's that, but he can play at any moment on our top 6 or our top 9 and generate offense and win battles. So if I went through our lineup like that, we have that in our lineup. We don't have guys who just okay at a little bit everything. They all have something. They will be bringing energy, physicality, turbo, same. You know, Kevin Stanley is one of the best PK player in the league, and so on and so forth. All of them, they have something who's really good, who he brings on the table where it's really NHL good. So that's why we're capable of being successful, even if we're missing very good players.
Kind of along the same lines when it comes to matching, top 10 team, Detroit, when you can match that quality of play and excel through it.
Yeah.
What does this team do differently in those moments to be able to have that kind of success against top 10 teams?
Well, I think we're consistent. I don't think we do things way differently when we play those elite teams. If you look at every 2-3 weeks, we will have a game where we say, okay. But every team in the league, every team in the world, and every sports will have that. It's just. But I think our guys been really, really consistent. Okay, against Dallas, we were not really happy, but before that, you look at our last trip, our homestand, the way we played. I won't stand in front of you here and complain. We played good hockey. So our team is capable of sustaining, and I like the fact it was Vancouver, we played good. It was Detroit, we played good. We're coming back against Colorado, we will be ready and we want to play good. And doesn't guarantee the result, but it guarantee we have an identity and we want to play to our identity.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good break.
Thank you, Coach. You too.
So back at it on Wednesday, February 25th with the Colorado Avalanche. That's a nice welcome back from the Olympics. Here's the best team in the NHL for you. That's our next edition of Hockey Night in Utah. We're back on Mammoth Daily today and tomorrow, wrapping up some loose ends from the victory over Detroit, looking ahead to the Olympics, where Utah will have 4 different players from 4 countries that they'll be representing headed over to Milan. We'll cover that today. Tomorrow we will have Sam Farnsworth from KSL 5 live from Milan on Mammoth Daily. So make sure you're joining us on Apple, Spotify, Utah Mammoth, the YouTube page, Mammoth Plus, and SCG Plus the next 2 days before we go into a little bit of a Mammoth Daily Olympic break and re-greet you on Monday, February 23rd. DJ and PK, enjoy the Olympic break, and we'll talk to you coming up on Mammoth Daily.
There you go. All right, Mammoth, looking good. One thing to note, at the break last year, the 16 teams who, if the playoffs would have started right then, 14 of them made that. So we'll see if the situation holds up with the Mammoth being in the playoffs right now, and we'll see once they get back if they can keep that spot, and away we go. It's going to be a fun stretch for the Mammoth through the rest of the season until we get to the postseason. My guess is yes, that they will be in the playoffs. Okay, BYU, they made their coaches available to speak to the media yesterday, and we are going to hear from the coordinators next. Stay with us, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Good morning. BYU made all of their coaches. They got a couple new coaches on board, and Kalani Sitake, and pretty much everybody. I think every coach spoke. It was a Zoom call to the media. I was on it, listening to it. I know Yak. Yeah, nod your head, Yak. You were listening to it too. You asked some questions. I just listened for all the astute questions. And let's hear from the coordinators. So they sat side by side. You had Aaron Roderick, obviously the returning offensive coordinator. And then also you had Kelly Poppinga, who is new to the job now. Kelly Poppinga will be joining us in just over an hour, at the bottom of the next hour, and he's the new coordinator. And so we're going to hear from both of them what they have to say about the recruits, about transfers, quarterback position. Kelly, what he's going to do, replace Jay Hill. Each of them, they're together speaking, so you hear both of them. You'll hear the questions addressed to either or. So let's get to it.
Well, it's hard to summarize recruiting classes now because we have high school players we sign. We have guys that go on missions. We have guys that come home from missions, and then we have transfer portal guys. But overall, I think we've made a lot of good progress in upgrading our roster. Had a quarterback come home from a mission in Enoch Watson, and then signed one to send on a mission with Ryder Lyons. And then we had a pretty big group of receivers coming in. We felt like we needed to improve there. And tight end, that's one position where, we went through a few years where it was kind of tight end by committee, and we've made a very concerted effort to get better at tight end. BYU should always be great at tight end, and frankly, we weren't for a few years there, just for depth reasons. And now we feel like the future is really bright there in the next several years with the signees and transfer portal guys and return missionaries. And then really, really excited about these O-linemen as well. So we can get into more detail about those if you guys want to ask questions. But super excited about the group.
Yeah, similar to what A-Rod just said, I think, this came down to, on paper, the best recruiting class in BYU history. And so I think both offensively, defensively, even some special teams things that we did, really excited about where we are, especially defensively with some of these linebackers, the inside backers that we got and the outside backers that we're be able to get, not just out of high school but the portal. Cade Ulave is a big pickup for us, and we're excited to see him have an impact here, and then just a bunch of these other guys that we've been waiting to come home from missions. I just think we're in a really good spot. I think we're as deep as we've been defensively since I've been here in the past 3 years. So I think that's a credit to just everybody over the last 3 years, how we've been able to recruit and build good depth for our whole entire team to help us look more like a Big 12 football team.
All right, first question will be from Sean Walker.
Yeah, A-Rod, you talked about Enoch Watson coming back home off of a mission, and he's a guy who I think he got home a little bit early. He got to campus really quick, kind of unofficially being around the team and everything. But how excited are you for him to provide a little bit of depth behind, obviously, a pretty good quarterback that you've got in Bear Bogmeyer?
Yeah, we're super excited about Enoch. He has been around for a few months now, practiced with us in bowl prep. I think he got about 6 practices or so in bowl practices with us. So we've actually had him in pads and seen him play already, and he looks really good. Very talented guy, strong arm guy with a lot of athletic ability and great size. And he looked good in the practices, leading up to the bowl game. And like what I see out of him so far in the weight room, and we've thrown a little bit on the field as well.
Next question from Jake Hatch.
I got a question for both of you. Aaron, I want to start off with you. What led you to want to bring Tyler Hughes back to Utah as your assistant quarterbacks coach?
Tyler's a really good coach. He's been on our radar for several years. We've just stayed in touch over the years and talked about the potential for him to work here at some point when the time was right for everyone. And this, just the way the stars aligned this time just seemed to be the right time. So, it came close to happening a few other times in the past, but wasn't always right for both parties. But he's a very good coach, a wide variety of experience. He's coached just about every position you can think of. He's been a head coach, and he's coached all over the country in some good programs and in the NFL. And I would say similar to when we hired Coach Gilbride, he brought a different perspective. Had been a lot of places in the NFL. Also, when we hired Coach Woods is a guy who's coached all over the country in a lot of different programs, and those viewpoints that you get from coaching in other places and other offenses, we've been pretty good at collaborating and pulling the best things from each of those, each guy's experience, and so we're looking for more of that from Tyler. We hope he brings some experiences that he can share with us that'll make our offense better.
And then, Kelly, just wanted to ask you, as you take over as defensive coordinator, how do you think your philosophy will differ from what Jay Hill had implemented?
I don't think it's going to be too much different, honestly. I think, what we've been doing here has been working. We've had a lot of success with it. I think a lot of the stuff that Jay was doing was stuff that Kalani's done in the past and stuff that Gary Anderson's done in the past, and both of those guys are still in the building. So being able to get feedback from those guys every single day and their influence, and then just like what A-Rod's saying, adding these coaches, adding DeMario Warren and adding Lewis, those guys are great coaches, and just sitting in the room with them the last 3 days and having us all together as a staff, I'm just finding that being able to have those guys come from different places, they're bringing a new energy, and not that the energy was bad, but just a different type of energy here, and bringing like just new ways of seeing things, and it's going to help us improve as a defense. And yeah, I'm excited to have those guys here.
Next question from Jay Drew.
Yeah, for Aaron, obviously you guys brought in from the transfer portal, I think 3 offensive linemen, brought in a tight end, quarterback. Are you finished as far as offensive guys out of the portal, or are you still looking for, say, maybe a running back or a receiver to complement some of the guys you've already got?
I think we're finished. I never say never. I'll never say we're completely done. We're never fully satisfied. We feel good about our depth right now. Feel good about our roster. And there's always a chance we'll add another good player if there's a chance to add a good player. And I always say, at any position, if there's somebody we can add that helps us win, we'll keep an open mind towards that. But right now, I do feel good about where we stand with our depth. And those 3 offensive linemen you mentioned and the 2 transfer tight ends, I mean, I expect all 3 of those guys to be important players for our team.
Then as far as a running back, you signed Devon Eka from Lehigh. Is he the type of kid that can help you right away? And is he going to be joining you in the summer, or when will he come on board?
He's here now, and he looks very good. Yeah, and and I never want to put too much on a freshman, but if there's a position where a freshman can play on offense, it's running back. And that's one position that we'll see how he does, but I would not be surprised at all if he plays this year. And he's a very talented kid. We're super excited about him.
Next question from Brandon Gurney.
Kelly, Kedu Uluave, what does he add to the defense to what already looked like a very deep position at linebacker for you guys?
Yeah, I think the guy's a very instinctive football player. He can do everything. When you watch his film from last year at Cal, phenomenal at fitting the run, very good instincts. He's great in coverage, and his pass rush abilities are really, really good too as well. So I think he's the type of backer that we want. That's a very versatile type of guy. He can do a lot of different things. Sometimes in this game, especially at linebacker, you get a guy that just can play in the box or just a cover guy. This guy can do it all, and that's a combination of being a great explosive athlete and also being a physical football player. And so those are the type of linebackers that we need here and that we want. And so he's going to fit that with Glasgow and Siale Serra and Ace Kafusi. I mean, there's a slew of guys in there, right? It's going to be super competitive, but I think we just felt like, just like what A-Rod was saying, if there's a chance to add a really, really good football player, we're going to add him. And just knowing for those other guys that it's going to be competitive, and that's how you want it. That's how it's going to help our team get better, is these guys getting in a competitive atmosphere and helping them reach their potential as players.
You mentioned he's versatile. Do you like him as inside, outside? Like where do you anticipate we're going to see him
I
employed?
would say more of an inside backer for sure. Like, if you watch his film from how he played last year, I think it's very similar. I think there's a lot of things he did last season that he's going to be able to do here. And I don't. For him, it's just going to be knowing what the verbiage is going to be for him. I think the techniques are very similar to the things that he was doing in his defense at Cal. It's just understanding just how we call things here. And so just that experience that he has of playing and being a great starter for the past 3 years, I think that's another part of it too as well. That's really hard to find, is somebody with that type of experience and production that he's had, and be able to add that to your team. It's going to help us, I think, as a football team for sure.
Next question from Mitch Harper.
This question's for Aaron. In December, Coach, we had to speak in code with you regarding Red Rider Lines. Now that he's officially signed, I'm curious, what are his strengths that really pop off the page to you as far as him as a quarterback prospect?
Well, he's an elite passer. I mean, he can really throw the ball. Makes every throw you can make. He's a super athlete. He makes a lot of plays off schedule. Buys time, keeps his eyes downfield. He scrambles to throw. He's a good runner too, but he scrambles to throw and makes a lot of plays. He's a very, very talented thrower. I mean, one of the best you'll find anywhere. And so yeah, super excited about him. Won a lot of games in high school, and expect him to do the same thing in college.
What's the roadmap for him when he arrives on campus? And it might be a big question to ask just because everything's so year by year in college football, but like with Bear and with Ryder, like what's kind of the roadmap you've kind of laid out for him?
Well, you don't look too far ahead. Like right now, it's just go on your mission and focus on your mission. And when he gets home, I mean, he's a good player. So what I tell all these guys is we're going to sign the best quarterback we can get every year. And there's always going to be 3 or 4 really good players in that room. And the cream will always rise to the top. And I believe that, we've done a pretty good job, I think, around here of managing that situation where we've had more than one good quarterback in the room at a time, and yet multiple guys still end up having success, having a good career. And so we'll work our way through that as we go. And then the other thing you just know is there's just change every year, So I think it's a little bit of a fool's errand to look too far ahead and say, well, we're going to plan this and this and this. We're just going one day at a time right now, trying to get a first down and win the next game. And right now, we just want Ryder to be focused on his mission.
Next question from Jay Catch.
Yeah, Aaron, I just wanted to ask you, you brought in 3 offensive linemen. Is that because you guys were just low on bodies, or you felt like you needed to bolster that unit?
You can never have too many good old linemen. Last season we were fortunate we didn't get as beat up as we have in other years, and so we rotated 7 or 8 guys last year on a regular basis. But that's just one position where you can never be too deep, and especially at offensive tackle. So we're trying to find as many good players we can that can play offensive tackle, and so we added those 3 guys. They're all guys with playing experience, starting experience, and adding them to what was already a good group. We like the guys we have. We just want to make sure we're as deep as we can be to get through. This year was 14 games. We're hoping it's at least that many next year.
And Kelly, your unit, speaking just defensively as a whole, very low turnover by and large. I know you lose Jack Kelly, you lost Logan Latui, but does that instill confidence that, hey, we got a lot of continuity here, we should be able to take the next step?
Yeah, as we're going through the cut-ups right now as a staff and we're watching how we played last year, we got a lot of really good players out there, and so we got to continue to get them better. There's improvement that everybody can make. But, yeah, we got a lot of production that's coming back, and going through that this morning as a staff is just making sure we're putting those guys in the right positions, getting the best 11 guys on the field that give us the best chance to play the type of defense that we want to play. And for these guys, it's not going to be, from my perspective, I don't want to change a lot because that would be kind of dumb of me to do with all the success we've had and the type of experience that we have, right? It would be pretty foolish of me to come in here and say, hey, we're going to change this defense around, change all the terminology with all this experience that we have here. And so we're going to let these guys play what we've played. There'll be some little tweaks here and there, but we want these guys to play fast because they got experience in this scheme. And so, there'll be some things here and there that you might see that might be a little bit different, but for the most part, this is, like I said before, this is a defense that Kalani and Coach Anderson have used for a long time that, Coach, that Jay used to kind of put his little flavor on, and I'll probably have a little bit of the same. We'll have my flavor on it, but the base will be its base, and that's how we'll go forward.
All right, next question from Jay Drew, and then we'll finish up with Mitch Harper.
Aaron, we've heard Kelly talk about how after Jay left that the defensive coaches worked the phones for like 3 straight days on roster retainment. Did that also happen with offense? Was it touch and go with any of your offensive guys, or was it pretty much a given that most of them were going to come back?
I felt like Jerry Maguire. I was on the phone so much after that bowl game, and the good news is we have really good, great kids in this program. I think we have the right guys in this program that love the team culture. But it is a real thing out there where your best players, there are people trying to get a hold of your best players and trying to get the word to them that, hey, we have this much money for you if you come here or there, and it's happening, okay? And so it was a situation where you're making sure that we're staying in touch with our best guys, staying connected to our best players, and reminding them about the success we've had in the past and what we want to accomplish together in the future. And so we were really fortunate that all those guys chose to stay. Our top guys, LJ, Parker, Bear, obviously, Bruce Mitchell, all those all-conference type of guys that could probably go just about anywhere they wanted to, and if they wanted to go test the market or whatever you call it. But all those guys chose to stay, and I think it says a lot about Kalani and a lot about his team culture, and it says a lot about those guys too individually, that they chose to stick together. They care about each other. They care about this program, and I'm super excited. I think we're probably the only Power 4 team in the country that retained everybody. I mean, we hung on to everybody that we wanted to stay, and a few of the guys that left were guys that we were amicable. We helped them, or we're we're helping them move along to a better situation or whatever. But super excited about that. And yeah, it was a little bit of work, but not too much, because most of those guys they're really committed to what we're doing here.
All right, last question from Mitch Harper.
Yeah, Kelly, I wanted to ask you about, some return missionaries, just maybe early returns on some of these guys on the defensive side, like a David Tangalano, Davu Tuataga, and Adney Reed. Just maybe early impressions of guys that you're involved with their recruitment and how they're looking so far, coming back.
Yeah, David got back, during the fall, right at the end right there, and just started getting in workouts, and he looks good. He looks big, and he looks strong, and so I think he'll be able to add some depth into the defensive line right there. Adney Reed is another guy that I've been really excited to see. He's big, he's long, versatile type of guy that, he'll start at outside backer in kind of that Sam Backer position where we've seen Glasgow play, but a similar type of athlete, and could grow. Really, you look at his body, could probably maybe grow into more of our boundary end, where like Logan's played and Batty's played there a little bit. But he's a big body guy that I've really liked, and his work ethic in the weight room has been impressive. And then at linebacker, Owen Borg and Blake Lowe are two guys that I've liked as well. Both guys that were really, really good athletes and kind of undersized in high school that have put on some weight, matured a little bit, from their missions, and have come back and looked like the type of linebackers we want linebackers to look for. Both guys are 6'3", both can run, both are big and strong guys for just coming home off their mission. And then the other kid that came home off his mission that I really liked that was at Kansas State before is Jake Clifton. And so he was a guy that we had seen on film and had a ton of success, started for Kansas State before he went on his mission, and then, leaves on his mission and decides to transfer here. And another guy that's, going to add some great depth this season. And so, I think we're very deep at the linebacker position. Like I said before, just the competition in that room is going to be fierce, and that's how you want it. That's what's going to make those guys better. It's going to make our team better.
And then, Aaron, I just wanted to ask you, Kyler Casper's a fascinating talent, but he's dealt with injuries in his college career. What did you like about him in the portal, and what do you think you guys can get out of him in his 2 years of eligibility remaining in college football?
Yeah, with Kyler, the injury was, really held him back from having the kind of success he wanted to have at Oregon. We checked that out as much as we can. Our people did, and everybody, he's full go right now, doing everything. So we're excited about that. And in his case, that's usually when you go to the portal, you're usually going for guys that are proven. They have film. They've proven what they can do. Like in the case of all three of the O-linemen we took and the two tight ends. In Kyler's case, this is a situation where we had connections to him. We've known him for a long time, wanted him in high school, weren't able to get him, but we're banking on what we know about his character, what we know about his family, what we know about his athletic ability. We're betting on him producing now that he's healthy. And it's a projection, but, man, he has a lot of talent. He is all of 6'6", and what I've seen of him so far is very encouraging, and we're expecting big things.
Okay, there you go. That was the BYU coordinators. All right, well, we've got Olympics. The Olympics starting today, and then the opening ceremonies tomorrow. KSL, Channel 5, Sam Farnsworth, along with some other news people, will be there. We'll have all the coverage for you right here on the Sports Zone, of course, and on the television at Channel 5. And DJ and I, we will be talking about the Olympics next, so stay with us, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
DJ and PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. PK.
Yeah.
We don't talk a lot of Olympics on this show, but come this weekend, there's going to be a lot of Olympics all over your TV, and obviously streaming as well. We're about to get 2.5 weeks of it nonstop. So I guess the question here is, how excited are you? How excited is the audience? How fired up are people for the Italian Olympics?
The mother country, where my grandfather was born and raised.
There it is. Are we going to talk about food for 5 minutes before we get to the games?
So,
the pasta. My mother, she always had it on the back of the stove simmering.
Yeah, we never called it pasta.
She had the sauce?
We call it gravy.
Gravy.
Yeah.
Gravy's brown. Sauce is red. We grew up in different worlds.
Not where I came from.
Okay.
The pot of gravy on the stove, and we called it specifics. It was never, pasta was never used.
You said lasagna, or you said spaghetti, or you say ravioli, or you say whatever.
Yes, and then if you had like an umbrella phrase, it'd be macaroni.
Macaroni, okay.
Yeah, but never
pasta.
once did I ever hear that. I probably would have got slapped silly if I said
pasta.
Yeah, and then
you always talk about the meatballs. So what was the best of the?
What did I like?
Yeah.
Well, my mother, as she would say, God rest her soul, was excellent at all of that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's going out to eat Italian food is never measured up. So she could do it all. Meatballs.
That's what you usually reference. I figured that was your favorite thing. I figured it didn't really matter to you.
And meatballs are the hardest to replicate out of what I grew up with, which was at least, if not 3 times a week. And I would have been happy 5 times a week.
I'd have been happy 7.
Yeah, I mean, it was so good. I'll give you an example. My sister, they had a surprise party on her 50th birthday.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really cool because I call her from here. Hey, Janet, happy birthday, blah, 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 blah. Oh, yeah. And then I get on a plane and go down there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I had a work assignment. It jived with something. And so she was in education, so she had tons of people show up at my parents' house. And then I snuck behind her when everybody yelled surprise, and she was blown away that I was there because I've always been the darling little brother. And then we had it outside because it was in the spring, it was warm. And so I had all these tables set up, and my mother made an Italian feast, right? Everything. Lasagna, stuffed shells, macaroni, ravioli, the whole shebang. And I heard more than one table. We had separate tables for them to sit. Man, you can't get this at an Italian restaurant. This is better than anything I ever had. Yeah. So that's what I grew up on, and it still has a soft spot for me. When I go back to Arizona, my sister Janet, who had the party, she will cook it. They're both older, but the older of the two doesn't know how to do it, so she never does it. No.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Didn't get any of it, huh?
Not zero.
That's a shame.
Yeah. And she's a little more gentle than my other sister. So she's a little more Irish. A little softer.
And then over here we got the combative one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. But the Olympics are here, and yeah, it's a fun time. I am going to be glued to KSL Channel 5 start to finish for the next 3 weeks. I won't be watching anything but KSL Channel 5 and our people.
Okay. Nice.
I'm just saying.
So what I'm not clear on is how much of the sports people in our audience, which is obviously just a sliver of the overall Olympic audience, what sports do they care about? I assume that our audience has to watch them live. And because once the Olympics go to Europe, you just got to assume that in the daytime you'll get a lot of live stuff, but in prime time you're going to get a lot of tape stuff.
Yeah.
And some of the stuff, like the men's downhill, which when I was a kid, Franz Klammer, that was so exciting. He almost crashed like 5 times and he won the gold medal. There was a ton of hype for it. It was great. It's funny. I watch it now on YouTube and I'm like, Well, now I know how it turns out. It's not the same. But in the moment, I remember my dad and my brothers and I oohing and on. One ski pointing to the North Pole, one ski to the South Pole, and a dude's doing 90 miles an hour or whatever, falling off a cliff. Unreal. It's at 3:30 in the morning Mountain Time. I'll be catching that on tape, PK. You'll be up at 3:30 in the morning for the live broadcast.
Yeah, I'm probably on that stuff. I have very little interest.
Yeah.
The thing about with Olympics for me is if I'm not interested in off years,
you're not going to be interested in the in years. Yeah. And
not that I won't be interested, but I won't be enthralled by it, wanting to find out. So I can live with it not watching it live.
I think the thing is that they're going to put a lot of sports I watch. I wonder how much of them, some of them, a little bit of them will be on NBC, so Channel 5, but a lot of them, because I'm going to want to watch hockey. We got 4 Mammoth players in there.
Absolutely.
I feel more tied in to these guys and their stories, right? I mean, Vejmelka's the starting goaltender, right? So what's he going to do for the Czech Republic? And the guys playing for Germany and Finland and obviously Keller with the U.S. So you got all these teams. Well, there's no way all those hockey games are going to be on NBC. U.S.-Canada would be, for sure, and maybe a few others. So I think that checking that is the priority for me. And then there's a few events, the Olympic downhill. I'm going to watch that. The snowboarding and the aerial stuff. It's fantastic eye candy, but I don't know any of the people and I don't follow it. So if I'm available when it's on, I do enjoy watching it. But it's also, like you said, I'm not locked into it the other 3 years. So it's not like I'm going to absolutely turn it into must-see TV when I know the Jazz are must-see TV, our local college teams are must-see TV. And so if that conflicts with the aerials or whatever, I'm not going to watch it. But if I'm watching it and there's nothing else going on, I mean, I watched the Caribbean series, so I'm going to watch some of this. And I mean, I can't believe these guys are doing double somersaults and twists and landing them.
Yeah, I will watch it.
Yeah.
In a flick type of situation. Jazz are playing, and it's halftime, it's commercial, whatever, before the game, and I'll flick on and I'll check it out.
Yeah.
I won't be, I've got to see it. Now, as the hockey progresses,
you get more and more into it.
Yeah.
Right. Especially if the U.S. does as well as expected.
Yeah.
I mean, the U.S. should medal.
And I'm rooting for all the U.S. athletes, men, women, the whole spiel. I want to see my country do well. I will watch that on it. I'll be totally fine with a tape delay basis because I won't be scouring for the results.
Right.
And that's why I can't watch a Jazz game tape delay because I can't wait.
Yeah.
I got to know it. I got to know it right now. I got to know what's going on. I'm not going to wait. Sometimes I'll rewatch a quarter of something because they usually
rewatch a fourth quarter.
Yeah. They replay the game and if I feel a need to, but normally I'm watching it live. In the Olympic sports, hockey is really the only thing I'm totally interested in. Different than summer. Now, with that in mind, if there becomes gripping stories, I'm in. Like if Phelps is dominating in the swimming, I will watch that.
And the sport for me where that's most likely to happen is speed skating. I get that. It's not judged. I think you and I and a lot of people listening to this, the judge sports always get you a little bit like, yeah, I get it. What you're doing is awesome. But I see someone land some spectacular aerial trick and then a judge gives them whatever number, right?
Largely because I don't understand it.
I certainly don't understand
out of
it.
Ignorance.
Yeah. But the speed skating I get. I mean, I grew up in San Diego. We didn't speed skate. We didn't skate
first.
Yeah, but it's just like, okay, be fast. Be the first one there. I do wish, I like the short track. The long track is what we've obviously seen for years and years. The short track is relatively new. And I've always thought that the short track format, multiple people on the ice, on the long track is what I'd like to see because it looks the most like the track events I've watched forever. And I'd like to see that. In the short
looks like
track,
horse racing.
Yeah, right. And in the short track, they're in such a confined space, and people wipe out, and someone loses. And then there's a luck element, right? If you happen to be passing someone, and they lose their footing and they go down and slide into you, you're out. And what did you do? There's a randomness I don't really like there. Whereas I feel like in the long track, it'd be more real. I mean, it could still happen, but it'd be more real and more what I'm used to seeing. But they don't have that. They haven't created that Olympic event for me yet.
And I think I'm drawn in by the basic idea of competition.
Yeah.
And people who've been training. And there's something to be said of these aren't these pampered stars who take the public for granted and all that stuff. And I hope from the U.S. perspective that we see some people dominate and then they become stories unto themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that we basically tune in for stories.
Yeah.
The Olympics become stories. And we learn about them, unless it's basketball and I'm watching Steph Curry go off in the second half because I want the U.S. to win, blah blah blah. But that's already an established story. Even if it's not a story, it's still a story. They don't need something to develop because the development will take care of itself. In these other sports, I want to get to know. Have somebody who dominates. And Eric Hayden back in the day.
Yeah.
Is he a doctor in town?
He's a doctor in Park City.
Yeah. And that's cool, right?
Right.
You remember that name. All these years later, you remember the name.
And Derek Parra.
Yeah.
Who I've seen him around town a few times. The last time I saw him was on a bus at long-term parking at the airport. We dropped off our cars. We were heading to the terminal.
What's up, DJ?
I sat down and I looked up, and he was sitting right across from me.
Did he?
And it's not he knew who I was, and I knew who he was.
Of course he did.
Well, I'd interviewed him. So.
Yeah, regardless.
Stop it.
He's seen you on TV.
Yeah, okay.
Derek Parra would have no idea if I was Gerardo Parra.
Have you ever interviewed him?
No.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no. Once I came to town and my inadequacies were established, it was understood that I would never get near any Olympic event
what's
whatsoever.
the trip said? You stay away from the Olympics. Go to your college basketball game and leave us alone. The grown-ups over here doing the Olympics.
You're not good enough.
Yeah.
That's what they told me without telling me. And so, no, I have never. I'm not sure I've ever interviewed an Olympic athlete. I can't get anywhere near them people. They have a big. You're not good enough. Get out of here. Who are you? You never won Sports Writer of the Year.
So, anything else you like, especially that jumps out at you? The ski jumping. I like them flying through the air.
Well, anything that attracts speed.
That'll get you.
I think speed. Fast cars, fast whatever. That's why I get excited about Secretariat, because there was nothing before and there's nothing after, and we're going on 60 years.
No, you can have your Affirms and your Aladars
and they're fine.
Seattle Slews and all that.
But that's speed, and then when you combine power, when you get speed and power, that is an awesome combination to be able to watch a Bo Jackson on the run, right? Big man, powerfully built, runs like a bullet shooting through the air, like a bullet train or something, right? Nobody wants to get on a train and have it go slower than the car.
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't work.
Right.
So anything that involves speed, I'm going to be interested in to see how it works and how they do it. And Lindsey Vonn is a name. She's been a name for a number of years, and now she says she's going to compete even with the knee injury. And okay, that's tough. Now I'm factoring in toughness.
Yeah.
And when I get those combinations, how do you not appreciate
Lindsey Vonn,
the whole thing?
Yeah, Lindsey Vonn can be a tremendous story. You've got celebrity, the name's established, so it's already there. Now you got overcoming the injury. Everybody loves a comeback story. Got the video. You can see the crash. You know what she's up against. You see her limping and all that. You know her age, and that's part of the celebrity. She's been in the spotlight for a while, so you know her age. People of that age should not be at this level in the Olympics. So there's a lot of powerful elements built into that story, all primed now.
Yeah, and that will cause me minimally to have a mild interest to I'm all the way in, somewhere in between. Not, and I'll readily admit, not as much as the summer. Summer, there's way more sports, volleyball, swimming, track, basketball.
And you've got some experience with all of them. Yeah.
Yes, I've covered all of them.
Yeah.
At one time or another. I actually did cover Olympic trials figure skating.
Aha!
Yeah, and I didn't know what the heck I was doing. But I tagged around.
Yeah.
There's a gal named Lisa who worked for the Riverside paper, and I told her, I said, I
don't know anything.
And she says, I got you.
Yeah.
I'll just follow me.
Follow around.
Yeah.
You wrote down quotes and you figured it out.
And we were at the forum.
Nuts and bolts.
And I had to go to the forum for a bunch of times, and I just followed her around, and she told me what mattered, what didn't, and I gained a little knowledge of that. And my mother loved figure skating, so I sort of have
we've all kind of been there, haven't we?
Little
My
soft
mom and
spot.
grandmother watched a ton of figure skating.
Yeah. She loved the elegance of it.
I've always thought it's one of the crazy things about the NCAA. Everybody's trying to make money, and they're adding all these sports. Why don't you add the one sport that you know people are going to watch? I mean, all these TV networks, the Big Ten Network and all that. How do you counter program Monday Night Football? Put on Ohio State, Michigan figure skating. What are you doing here? And you can say it's the ice in the arena. It's like, okay, but there's like 150 hockey teams, so 150 schools are already set up and can do it.
And one of my favorite all-time athletes is Tanya Harding.
Just for the grit and the toughness, a little bit with the scandal.
I don't see that many movies, but my friends, they wanted us to go to movies, so we went and see this I, Tanya.
Yeah. I avoided it because of what you said. Total downer.
It was.
Just a complete downer.
Everything was dark and awful from start to finish. I went and saw the Song Blue about the Neil Diamond impersonator.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that, I don't know if I should give it away, but the guy has health issues, so you can figure it out.
Right.
Okay, so that was a downer, but there were also plenty of highlights.
moments. Yeah.
And the gal that he sang with gets run over by a car and gets her leg chopped off. And that's a downer, but it still had plenty of good moments. I, Tanya, 0. It was filthy. It was profane. It was uncomfortable.
I did not go see it in the theater after you gave it that brutal review. My wife never brought it up, so that was fine. But one night I was channel surfing, and it was on some cable channel somewhere, I don't know. And I was about 120 seconds into it, and it had already confirmed everything you said.
Yeah.
And I needed 2 minutes and a commercial break, and I went back to whatever game I was watching. It was just like, yeah, that's what he said it was.
I mean, I don't need exclusive rom-coms here, but that one.
Exclusive rom-coms.
That was a total downer. Man.
You going to the theater to see Jennifer Aniston be vulnerable but lovable.
No wonder why Tanya was the way she was.
Yeah, right.
If that was anything true.
It's not an accident.
That was
man.
brutal.
Yeah. All right, Olympics. There's going to be Olympics all over. There's already a little women's hockey to get all the dates in and all the arena. That's already going. But man, Saturday and Sunday, it's full schedule. It is on the weekend. There'll be a ton of things to watch.
The Olympics, are you excited about it? Yeah, we'll see what happens over the course of the next 3 weeks or so to see what's going on internationally over there in Italy. We'll get you caught up on what you may have missed overnight. The Jazz making some moves again. Trade deadline is today. Hey, they may still have some more moves in store. We got What's Trending coming up next. Stay with us, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.